John here to help you learn how to log into your Burlington English account on the computer. The first thing you need to do is to go to burlingtonenglish.com, and I will put the address here at the bottom of this video. When you go to the website, you will see this little message right at the beginning that says Burlington English Response to Coronavirus. Now, from here you can log in by clicking here in this particular location, or you can also log in from their main web page, which again is right here where it says BE Login. From there, you need to enter the username and password that we gave you in your email. Now, for this particular video series, I have been using a student account, a dummy student account called Johnny Student. But you will use your username and password. Now, we are using Burlington English at home. So in this case, we need to click on where it says Away from School. So let's click on that. Once you get into the main menu, you will see listed here the different types of things you can do with your Burlington English account. For example, you can use the virtual class schedule, which we are not using in our program. But there are also some different things you can do on the computer that you cannot do on the phone. For example, the computer account does have access to some readers. And if you click on the readers for just a moment, you will see that there are many books that you can actually practice with, you can practice reading with at different levels. For example, the beginning level, the intermediate level, and the advanced level. But we are going to do the readers in a different video. So for now, we're going to return home to the main menu. Now, for our courses here in Kenton ESL, we are using the Courses link, the Courses box here. So click on Courses. Now from there, Burlington English has 4 General English core courses: Basics, Low Beginners, High Beginners, and Low Intermediate. You also have what are called career exploration courses, which we will also be using in future classes, again at the beginners, intermediate, and advanced levels. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to use the low intermediate level to demonstrate. Once you click on the low intermediate level, you will notice that you have 4 different boxes again: Student Lessons, Vocabulary Practice, My Portfolio, and Progress. Now, for most of the courses and programs that we've been doing in our classes, we've been using the Student Lessons tab. And you notice we have here the different topics. So there are 10 topics in the low intermediate level. And we just finished the housing topic in our course. But I'm going to show you just very quickly the different types of activities that you can do with each lesson, because we will be doing a new lesson starting next week. For example, you will see that we have some listen and speaking activities, grammar activities, reading activities, watch and speak activities, and then of course at the end some different kinds of things such as life skills, and then there's also a writing activity that you can do. Now in this video I'm just going to quickly show you some of the different things that you can do. So for example, by starting at the Get Ready level, this will introduce each particular topic or lesson. So for example, here in the Get Ready number 2, we have a series of pictures and some questions, some statements, and then we have to match the letter to the correct box. So for example, number 1 says, you can do laundry in your apartment. Well, by looking at my pictures, which one would seem to be the answer? Well, for example, it might be picture B. Now, every time you finish an activity, at the bottom of the screen, you can check your answers. Now, I have not finished the answers here, but if I click on check, you will see that I was correct with number 1. And then if I want to go back and do the activity again, if I made any mistakes, I can go back and correct myself or not. If I want to reset and try it again, you can always click on reset. In the vocabulary exercises, you can listen to each word. Now, we won't be able to hear them here on this video, but for example, the first word is basement. And then the nice thing about Burlington English is you can record yourself. So for example, I'll click on the microphone and say the word basement. And then notice, well, the computer kind of understood me. So I could listen to each particular word. So I scroll down each particular phrase. And then at the end I can check my answers. So notice it says I didn't finish. So in this case, you see I haven't recorded. But if I want to reset, I can reset and try it again. So let's try the first one again one more time. So it says basement. So then I try it. Basement. Notice this time it says it didn't understand me. Let's try it one more time. Basement. Okay, a little bit better. So in this case, when we practice, you can go back and again reset and continue to practice your pronunciation. Each Burlington lesson has many different kinds of vocabulary activities. Some of the activities I move numbers around, for example, to match to answers here. Sometimes I have to choose an answer. So for example, here I have to choose the correct answer. Here I have to complete a conversation by typing in the answer. In the listening section, for example, I can click on here to listen to a conversation, and then it says Jane is speaking to a leasing agent about an apartment. So there's Jane. Listen and put the questions she asks in the order you hear them. So for example, as I'm listening, I can move the text around on the screen. And once again, I can check my answers when I'm finished, or I can try it again. In this particular listening activity, I can listen again and choose true or false. Notice at the bottom of the screen, sometimes you'll see something like this, which means to go to the next screen to finish all of the answers. And then if I want to check my answers or reset and try it again, I can do that as well. For a speaking activity, again, there are many different kinds of activities that I can do. For example, it says read the question, then choose the correct response and record it. So for example, the question says, how big is the unit? Now if I listen to both choices, one of these will be the correct answer. And then what I will do is use the microphone to record myself. So I listen to each one and then record. And then again, I go to each lesson or each screen with different questions and again listening to each response. If I want to do it again, I click on reset. So again, if you'll notice, each particular activity has something different that I can do. Here I can read this information, and if I want to make it bigger, I can see a bigger screen. And as I'm following in the conversation, I can choose which one is the correct answer. I can check my answers again or reset. In this particular speaking activity, you can read and listen to a conversation. So we could listen to the conversation first, and then we can try to record ourselves. In this case, we record ourselves as Steve. Sometimes the activity will let you try either person, either Steve or the leasing agent. You can practice in a continuous way, which means after you record yourself, then the conversation would continue. Or you can click on no and the conversation will have to wait until you record. For example, let's try the first one. How much is the rent? Notice it says it didn't understand me. Let's try it again. How much is the rent? Okay, so about 50%. But if I want to play the conversation, then I would have to record myself and then play the leasing agent. And again, you can't hear it here, but the idea is if I wanted to be continuous, then the conversation would continue and I would have to record my part. So for example, if I reset,
How much is the rent? It's $650 a month. Does the rent include utilities? It includes electricity and gas.
so if you notice, the conversation will continue, and then I have to go back and record myself as Steve in the conversation. So with Burlington English on the computer, you can do many different activities a little bit easier than on the phone. And each activity you have different things that you can do. Let's try one more. Let's look at the watch and speak activity. For example, when I go into watch, notice that it will ask me to watch the video. So this is the video icon here. If I click on the video, then you would be able to see the video in the middle of the screen. I play the video here. Again, we won't be able to hear it in this video, but in terms of watching the video, you can see the information here on the screen. So after the person speaks, then I can go in and choose the answers here on this screen. So again, Burlington English has lots of different activities that you can practice with. And remember, when you're watching the video, you'll have to click on this icon in order to listen or to watch the video. And don't forget that if you have to go to the next screen, click here. So once again, this is just an introduction into how to use Burlington English on your computer. So to review one more time, after you log in, you'll click on Courses. And depending on your class level, for example, low intermediate, then you will go into the student lessons. And from there, you'll click on whatever particular topic you're working on. So like we said, in our next lesson, we're going to be working with a different topic from this list. When you are finished with each day's activities, you can click on the Home button here, and then once again to log out. Then you're finished. Thanks for watching this video.